Hello everyone, hope you're okay. Welcome to the Basics of Music Theory series, where we're going to be looking at the sort of nitty-gritty, exciting bits of how music works. The first thing we're going to look at is notation, basic notation. How do you read it? What does it mean? At GCSE level in Wales, you need to understand 3 clefs: treble clef, alto clef, bass clef. I'll explain what all those things are, what they mean, and how they work. Let's get into it. So as I said, there are 3 main clefs you need to understand at GCSE. There's the treble clef, which is used for all the high instruments, so things like violin, flute, soprano, voice. You read that like this. So reading sheet music is as simple as this. You've got these 5 lines which are called a stave, and the lower the note is on the stave, the lower the note. The higher the note is on the stave, the higher the note. So if a note was down here, it would be low. If a note was up here, it would be high. And then everything in between moves in steps. Now, to help us remember where the notes are, we'll divide the stave up into 5 lines and 4 spaces. The notes in the spaces spell the word face. And to remember the notes on the lines, we use the sentence, "Every green bus drives fast." So the first letter of each word is the letter name of the note of that line. So the bottom line is an E, the next line is a G, and so on and so on. Now we're going to look at the alto clef. Now the alto clef is quite a rare clef, if I'm honest. It's pretty much only used by the viola. It does occasionally get used by other things, but mainly it is used by the viola. It's my fire alarm. My wife's cooking. So think of the alto clef as an extravagant pointing device, the middle of which points at a middle C. From the C, then, you can work out everything else alphabetically, up and down. And here they are all together. Next, we're going to look at the bass clef. So the bass clef is used by the low instruments, so things like cello, double bass, bass guitar. If you play the piano, the treble and the bass clef are used, so the right hand will play the treble clef, the high stuff, and the left hand will play the bass clef, the low stuff. You read that like this. So similarly to the treble clef, we learn bass clef in lines and spaces. So we'll start with the spaces. The sentence you need to remember for spaces is, "All cows eat grass." Then the sentence we use to remember the lines is, "Great big dinners for animals." The reason we use different clefs for different instruments is to keep the notes as central to the stave as possible and to avoid using too many what are called ledger lines, which I'll explain in the next video. So for reference, I'm going to show you what a middle C looks like on the 3 clefs. So a middle C sounds like this. This is what it looks like on the treble clef, which is for the high instruments. This is what it looks like on the alto clef, which is for sort of the medium instrument. And this is what it looks like on the bass clef, which is for low instruments. Thank you for watching. Hope you're all well. Look after yourselves. Much love. Bye bye.